What is the balance between your short-term and your long-term focus? Really being able to shift between short-term focus and long-term, and making sure that we're looking up and getting a sort of 50,000-foot view of our lives and looking into our future is a vital, vital skill to learn in terms of creating your wealth and your financial well-being. You know, there was a study done with kids around delayed gratification, and it's known as the Marshmallow Test, where kids were put into a room and given some marshmallows or a marshmallow in front of them and told that if they didn't eat that marshmallow for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, they tested different periods of time, they would then be rewarded by getting 2 marshmallows. And it was fine that many kids just couldn't even sit there with this and resist this temptation in front of them, and even knowing they were going to get a reward double down the line if they could just delay that need to gratify instantaneously, they still shoved that marshmallow in. And it's been shown over and over again that the ability to delay gratification has a direct correlation to success in business, in investing, in life, because it's about being able to manage these deep sort of lizard brain responses to just want to react to that need for that sugar rush of gratification of whatever that is from the spend. And so really being able to go, oh, what is the long-term reward that I'll get from certain actions right now is really, really key. So let's take, for example, a coffee. There you go. Now, when I was living in Paris, I'd go down to the local little cafe, coffee shop on the corner near the market, and sit and have an espresso. And usually it would come in about a little glass about this size, and maybe less than half of that cup would be filled, and that would be €6 for hardly anything. It was super strong, so if you had a double espresso, you would be like this for the next few hours. But now, if you did your espresso a day, or your coffee a day, maybe if you're in a city in the US somewhere and that's $4 a day, I'll just use $4 as an example, as a sort of average price of a coffee. Over a year, if you do that every day, or if you go and quickly get a snack for lunch, that will add up to around $1,000 in a year. $4 a day will be around about $1,000 a year. Now, over 10 years, that would be $10,000. Pretty significant chunk of money. But if you are funding any of that through a credit card, because it's just sort of convenient to throw it on there, or some kind of loan, or you keep going in and out of an overdraft as part of your money habit, if you've got any kind of debt that's actually funding that habit, at the average interest rates in the Western world, and that's much higher in many other places, that $10,000 is actually going to end up costing you over $24,000, around about $24,500. That's a pretty hefty chunk of money. And many people never actually then find the means to actually repay that debt. So it just keeps being rolled, from one credit card to another, one revolving credit to another. And most people won't put together the relationship with these small instant gratifications versus the longer term impacts of those decisions. And that's the whole point. Banks know that people love that short-term instant hit. That's what marketers and advertisers rely on. Banks also know that debt is powerful, that debt pays. It pays them. Debt is extraordinarily powerful. It is one of the biggest money earners for huge institutions around the world, and it's a way to also control people. Many people's lives are effectively owned by those that they owe. Now, on the other hand, if you'd taken that $4 and that $1,000 a year and you'd put that into a low-cost investment like an index tracker, even outside of any beautiful tax-protected or tax-deferred vehicle, and it was just earning even just 7% a year, which is even less than the market average, you would then end up with $13,800 in the bank. That is a big difference from then being minus 24. And that is the difference of small choices. Now, I'm not saying don't have your espresso, but I am saying understand the consequences of short-term decisions versus long-term gains. And the more you're able to go, okay, what are the choices that I'm making now? And where are they taking me? And are they taking me to the life I want, to money heaven, or are they taking me to money hell? The more you're going to be able to be extraordinarily successful in your life. And that is so important. You know, when I was in debt and really made that decision to get out of that debt hole and to claim back my freedom in my life, and I made that more important than the short-term discomfort of some of the choices I needed to make, that made all the difference, because I could focus on the joy I would feel being free of debt. Could focus on the freedom I'd have of choice, of the things I could then do when I was no longer tied down by these repayments that I had to make. And when you can do that, when you can project to the benefit you're going to get, is going to make all the difference. So there you have it, short-term versus long-term thinking. Are you giving yourself space and time to project and go, the choices I'm making now, where are they going to end up taking me in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years? And know that that's the difference that makes a difference. Because at the end of the day, our destiny isn't created by the big decisions we make in the life, what career we're going to have, where we're going to live, who we're going to marry. Although we can, get caught into thinking of that, or what should we study, or what career should we do. Our destiny is actually created by these moment-by-moment choices that we have, making constantly, and especially when it comes to our money. So enjoy looking up every now and then, seeing what those choices are taking you, and if you don't like where you're headed, make a different choice, because that's the freedom that you have every day to make a new choice. So in the comments below, wherever you're watching this, I would love you to share with you, what is a choice that you can make differently now? Something in relation to your money that you know will help you get to a different destiny. Do you need to start investing? Do you need to be getting free of debt? Do you need to be allocating some of that money to different things? Do you need to be breaking out of minimum repayment thinking? What are some of the things that you could do differently now that are going to ensure that you can live differently from everybody else down the road? So that's it for today. Keep taking those baby steps, and I'm Ann Wilson, and until next time.